I very appreciate it. I very appreciate all what you are talking about it. Good day and good day to all the viewers of Afrique Media. Thank you, Afrique Media. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you, Africa.
Cameroon prepares twins election set to hold in exactly 1 month from today. Separatists on their part have vowed that elections will not hold in those regions. Meanwhile, the head of state in his end of year message emphasized that elections will hold, urging Cameroonians to go select their representatives. Party officials have begun doing the ugly to be favored by the outcomes of the elections. The situation in the two English-speaking regions continue to worsen as party officials who declared their interest to participate in the upcoming elections have either been kidnapped or saw their properties touched. In a recent move by the head of state, President Paul Biya and his government has deployed 350 gendarmeries to the southwest region to ensure a peaceful atmosphere before, during and after the elections. As the crisis continues to deepen, the local masses continue to pay the price as egoistic politicians struggle to consolidate their positions while separatists fight the Cameroonian military elections in February. Your opinions are waiting in the course of the program. Equally, we shall be talking about Togo this afternoon. Togolese President Faure Gnassingbé has been elected as flag bearer for the ruling party, the Union for the Republic, ahead of presidential elections slated for February this year. Faure has been in power since 2015 after succeeding his father Gnassingbé Eyadema, who ruled the country for 38 years. He was re-elected in 2010 and 2015 by disputed ballots. The country went through a serious political crisis in 2017 and 2018, with gigantic protests heavily repressed to demand the limitation of presidential terms and the departure of the head of state, who at the time was preparing to run for a fourth term. The government, in response to the protests, introduced a May 2019 constitutional revision, which was endorsed by lawmakers. The new rules allowed for not only President Gnassingbé to stand for re-election in 2020 and 2025, but also to benefit from immunity for life for the acts of committed during presidential terms. A dozen opposition leaders, including his historic leader Jean-Pierre Fabre and other members of the civil society organizations, also announced their candidacy for these presidential elections. What analysis? Is Togo moving in the right direction? All this is what we shall be looking at in the course of the program. Hello, thanks for joining us this afternoon on your Pan-African television views on the continent. You're watching us around Africa and equally anywhere around the world. We live here this afternoon and we shall be talking about issues happening around the African continent and why not beyond. We shall be getting your reactions in the course of the program. Those of you watching us around in Africa and out of the continent, we shall be hoping to know what you think equally regarding the two topics we shall be discussing on this afternoon. We shall be looking at the upcoming twin elections in Cameroon, where Cameroonians in the different parts of the country, most of whom are in the 8 regions, are very much prepared to go to the ballot boxes to vote for their municipal and representatives and equally parliamentarians. That's coming February 9 this year. Today, it's of course exactly 1 month ahead of the February 9 legislative and municipal elections, which is previewed to take place in the country. Separatists in the 2 English-speaking regions of the country have vowed that elections will not hold in these 2 English-speaking regions, while politicians on their part in these 2 English-speaking regions, most of whom have declared by the separatists to implement a firm no or say no to elections in this part of the country. Most of the two English-speaking regions continue to face crisis which began since 2016, and the crisis as a...
To shift an election using the National Assembly and the Senate through a decision in those houses so that security comes in, and then we cannot have a level ground for people to vote. If not, the chaos that we see the days ahead, we as civilians are scared what we could meet. Now let me leave Cameroon and go over to Togo. You know, Africa is suffering from a normal cankered worm. The issue of presidents sitting tight on their position. If we see President Faure Gnassingbé wanting to go in for the fourth term in office, as his party has designated him, he has already won. That is a scenario with African leaders. You see, someone will tell you that it's the people who want me to come, that I don't even want to stand an election, it's the people who want me. No. It is a deceitful method people put in place, and of course to stay onto power. As I tell you, look at the elections coming up. Gnassingbé has already won, whether we like it or not. But it's a bad signal. It is an abuse to the democratic system of Africa that leaders take power promising to respect constitution. When they take power, they start adjusting constitution, and before you know it, they become presidents for life. It is a call for concern for Africans to sit up and let us uproot the dictators and make sure we bring in place sanity, so that Africa should be reckoned with as far as democracy is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fives, for your analysis and your participation this afternoon on the program. Just like you said, Mr. Jasper, his party selected him to head to be the flag bearer of the party, and it's a decision which maybe he didn't decide that. So if his party deemed it necessary for him to go in for a third term, and according to the constitution which was changed in or revised in 2019 on May, gives him the opportunity to go in for another term in office, is that an issue to worry about?
Yeah, actually an issue to worry about with us in Africa. And one thing I will come back to you, Luis, not that because the party elected him to be the flag bearer, but then I guess whenever one is on seat in power, you do everything possible to maintain that position. So with the influence and all the light, when he was on seat as the president for the past 20 years, because he got on seat, his first mandate was from 2005 to 2010, while the second mandate was from 2010 to 2015, and the third mandate 2015 to 2020 today. If you join it up, it gives 20 years. And then talking of the father who have been there equally for 38 years, just look how we are in Africa. Is it like just a particular party can rule in a particular country? No, we have landed Togolese who goes to school every day and night, and then come out with qualifications, good certifications, and they can also run in. Why a particular party? So for me, if you look the system of leadership in Cameroon, this hand-given power, that's the same thing that is happening presently in Gabon. And you look actually in Cameroon, please, I pray we should not get into that in the days ahead, because the father might also, knowing very well that the son is already in one political school there in France, we don't know what he is already thinking of. So maybe tomorrow we'll hear the same case equally in Cameroon. Why is it that it's not a royalty whereby you leave or family properties where a father before leaving decide who to give the properties or who to take over? We're talking of a country. And now, if you look very well, if we now see the father who have been there for 39 years, was there any change? And then now the son is equally there, actually for 20 years plus that of the father, making the total of 58 years. The same family ruling a country. So if you look, actually, for me, we come to discover, look what happened in South Africa. Mandela, after being in prison for 25 years, came out. got on seat, resigned and said no. He just needed to put things in order, put some orders, give equal right for black South Africans and white South Africans, because it was like blacks had nothing to do. So now if you look the case we have now here, you will discover that this Nasibe, obviously maybe after this 20, that's 5 more years
according to the constitution. It gives an opportunity to go in for 2025 and even
225 again. So you see, he might even work more than his father, of which for me I don't think it's normal. We need to like change. We believe on change, and change, yes, we can.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Njiakumanga Jasper. Thanks for honoring our invitation this afternoon. And don't you forget that we are closely observing the situation in Togo. Of course, Togo is one of those countries. We'll be expecting to follow up the elections this 2020. We shall begin with Togo before other countries will be coming up, like Ivory Coast, equally expecting elections this year. Guinea-Conakry, equally we're expecting elections this year so far. All we hope for, it's the best of the process, and equally a peaceful process. And don't you forget, equally 22nd of the 9th of this month of February, next month, that's just 1 month from today, Cameroonians equally will be heading to the polls, if possible in the two English-speaking regions, which has been in crisis since 2016, to equally select representatives in the municipal and at the level of the legislature. Okay, we shall equally hope to see how the process unfolds in the two English-speaking regions and equally nationwide. According to the head of state, all measures have been put in place to ensure a peaceful atmosphere before, during and after the elections. But then it's a wait and see, and hoping for just the best, as the separatists on their part have vowed equally for elections not to take place. We're hoping for the best. We're equally observing. We shall be giving you updates on the situations on the ground, and equally giving you a chance equally to participate as usual. Share with us your opinions and of course your analysis. And Views on the Continent comes up every Tuesday right up to Friday. Your Pan-African debate equally will be yours tomorrow 3 p.m. It shall be another round table of discussions, and you shall have the opportunity to participate and share your opinions. That's how we saw it this day. Thanks very much again for coming, Mr. Njiakumanga.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and I would like to make Cameroonians to understand that it is possible that the elections, the upcoming elections, can be postponed to an unknown date for now. Thank you, and greetings to all those who are out there following the program.
All right, thanks very much. Your wish, it's been heard somewhere, somehow, and we're here. We shall keep you informed and updated until then. Do have a wonderful time listening or following up to other programs on your Pan-African Television, Afrique Media. It's been Views on the Continent. Until then, say bye-bye for now.